Well, good morning. It's Friday, and thanks for tuning in to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Niraj Shah, and the markets are not having the best of cues, but there are individual movements which will happen, and therefore it's important to differentiate between what the index is doing versus what stocks are doing. Frankly, I mean, yes, the index has had a good rally, but individual stocks have been even better, and I think that's what one should focus on. Firstly, though, what the global cues are suggesting, precious little, I would say, because if you just look at the Nasdaq 100 or the US markets, essentially, the Nasdaq 100 hit record highs, but eventually, if you see towards the close of trade, Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, all of them came off. The US jobless claim slowed while underscoring persistent weakness. That plus the fact that the rally has been so fast and so furious, I think all of that led to the US markets coming off a little bit from the levels that they were trading at over the course of the last few days. Asia and the SGX Nifties and those numbers will also come in one by one on your screen. And you will see what I'm trying to talk about. That quite unlike the last few days, or maybe not unlike yesterday, because yesterday too the cues were very flattish, but quite unlike what we've seen in the last few days, today especially, the cues aren't exactly gung ho. I mean, if we have a sedate start, right? I mean, Hang Seng is upward about 19 odd points. That's hardly anything, isn't it? I mean, look at the SGX Nifty for that matter, and that will also tell you a picture. So Asia starting on a flattish note, as you can see on your screens. SGX Nifty indicating a start which is almost flattish, if you will. There is a mild bit of weakness there, so don't expect a really blockbuster open, if you will, in today's session. Look at that. The SGX Nifty fairly flattish in today's session. Now, the trade setup, I think the market-wide MWPL was at about 27.23% versus an earlier number of 26.27% earlier. So remember, I mean, on a declining day, OI moving up is typically not viewed all that positively. The range on the option side is very wide, but the near term, what the future positions are getting built up would probably be indicative of what's happening. Also, the exchanges have taken a step. I mean, when did you last see the Bombay Stock Exchange changing the circuit filters of 728 stocks? I mean, not so the 500 also is not seen, but 728 mid cap and small cap stock circuit filters have been changed. Now, you could probably think of it as one way of safety mechanism or otherwise, but it's a pretty interesting step. And I think some of those stocks might get impacted. It's a very long list. So I'm not bringing out the whole set of names, but do watch out for those names as well. Fund flows continue to be positive, though. Again, I think yesterday we had a large block deal for HDFC and therefore HDFC Life rather, and therefore that could have had some impact too. But still, 3 days on a trot, accompanied with block deals as well, fund flows have largely been positive in the Indian markets. Today, we're watching out for earnings. There is Larsen and Toubro, there is State Bank of India, and there are a lot of other mid-cap names as well, the likes of Gujarat Gas, Aditya Birla Capital, Exide, etc. So from an earnings perspective, it's a pretty heavy day in the session. But what are the stocks that one should watch out for? That's the key thing, isn't it? First, bad news for Power Grid, I reckon, and not just for Power Grid. I think for stocks like GAIL and Oil India too. But the news is on Power Grid. The telecom department has sought about 13,000 crores on license fees for FY7 to FY10. Now, this of course includes all penalties, interest, etc. I'm sure this will be contested as well. But remember, this has happened to GAIL in the past. I think it's happened to Oil India in the past, and therefore this goes getting revisited might have an impact on all of these names, particularly Power Grid. But I wouldn't be surprised if GAIL and All India react a bit. So just be mindful of that. The other one on earnings is SRF. Remember, 2 or 3 numbers came out post-market hours, including SRF and PI. I thought SRF stood out simply because the numbers were below the broad estimates. The estimates were 1933 crores on the revenue side, and the number is at 1857 crores. On the EBITDA side, the Bloomberg estimates were 397, and the number is 388. Ambit, however, believes, and they are positive on this one, they believe that the EBITDA is above their estimates, and their estimates were pretty muted because of their analysis of the business. And their take is the businesses look okay. Remember, viewers, in SRF, the movement happens after the con call, wherein they give the commentary. And therefore, if you are indeed wanting to trade SRF, do watch out for the commentary on the con call and then try and trade it. But of course, the wiser, the smart analysts who already be logged onto the con call might have a head start on you, but keep that at the back of your mind. Then the juggernaut continues for Reliance Industries. Mubadala Investments is going to invest about 9,000 crores in Geo platforms for about 1.85% stake. This is similar to on the valuation front to the previous deals that have happened, save for Facebook, which happened at a slightly lower price. Everything else has happened at this valuation of 4.91 and 5.15 billion lakh crores, and therefore there's no change in the valuation on the investment. But Geo Platforms has raised a staggering 87,600 crores via these sales, etc., and all of that. And that's pretty interesting. Now, viewers, just keep in mind, bear with me. I don't have these numbers written in graphics, but just keep in mind, if you just look at the net debt of Reliance as of March, it was about 1.6 lakh crores. Now, if you take in Facebook's investment, Silver Lake, General Atlantic, and KKR's investment, that is 43,000 plus 34,000, deals with PE funds that are in the offering 10,000 crores. If indeed the rights issue amount is taken into account, about 14,000 crores. Cash profit, which is probably going to happen for Reliance Industries over the course of the next 3 quarters, that's people estimate anywhere between 40 to 50,000 crores. Reliance is almost virtually debt free by December or March 2021. And that's pretty interesting, really. So watch out for Reliance Industries in the session today. Last but not the least, watch out for Bharti Airtel. And the reason I bring it up is because yesterday during market hours closing, the announcement came in from Reuters and Bloomberg reported it that Amazon is in talks to buy stake in Bharti Airtel. Look at this delivery volumes. The average volume of the last 8 days is 50% delivery volumes, 50% delivery. Compare that to the preceding 8 days, only 27%. Even on the FNO side, that's the kind of action that we've seen. So there was some serious delivery-based buying in Bharti Airtel. The stock is given a bit of a run-up. Wouldn't be surprised if there is more in store based on the derivative action that we've already seen in Bharti Airtel. So Vodafone was up about 9% as well yesterday. So remember, I've been talking about the last few days about how you should watch out for telecom coming back to the fore. We might just be at the start of that yet again. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup.